How many? Welcome back to lesson 3, and I'm going to reveal the secret behind understanding how to create ideas for your essays. How many of you, when you think about writing and you sit down to write your essay and the topic question comes up and you think, I have no idea what to think about on this topic? This is a major problem for a lot of students, is that they don't know exactly any real ideas related to the topic that they could use in the essay. That's because a lot of people have learned to think that ideas are magic. They learn to think that a fairy should come along, knock them in the head with her wand, and they should know exactly what to write. The problem is that this is not reality, and actually ideas are more like a science than they are like magic. And that means if they're more like a science, we know exactly how we can begin to train our brain to grow our ideas scientifically over time so that we can have many useful ideas for our essay writing. This will also help us in our speaking exam on these different topics when we've thought through all of these topics. So, if you feel like do you ever feel like you don't have any ideas? Do you panic and feel a little bit stupid when you can't think of a good idea immediately? Well, lots of people feel this way. But actually, the reality is that people don't understand that ideas are like seeds. We have to sow the seeds into the ground so that they can begin to grow. So ideas are like seeds growing into beautiful gardens. Just as tiny little seeds need time, care, and the right conditions to become big, healthy plants, ideas need time to grow and to be organized. Picture it like taking care of a garden. Your mind is like a garden. If you water it, if you give it sunlight, and if you sow these seeds of ideas, it will eventually grow gradually. Ideas do need your attention and time to develop fully, and I will give you a process on how you can process your own thoughts and ideas so that you can have clear, thoughtful, and powerful arguments based on the ideas that you come up with. So once you sow and understand that the ideas come from a seed and begin to grow, then you're not going to be so frustrated when you can only see a little bit of the idea. That is exactly normal when your plant is growing, is that you put down your idea and then you begin to develop it and it starts to take on life form. Ideas are exactly the same. So I'm going to teach you a technique on how to be able to develop these seeds into plants so your ideas are mature, fully developed, and are very persuasive. This technique is not to be used in the exam because it takes too much time, but as a practice method, it is the best you can do. This is called brainstorming. I'm going to teach you guys how to brainstorm. So the first thing you need to know how to do is how to mind map. Start with a topic in the center and then branch out to subtopics or related ideas. The idea map is the first technique we're going to use. We have two main maps that we're going to learn how to use. One would be the idea map and the other will be the language map, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about now. So we're going to take the example of this lesson's essay for IELTS, and it's going to be on the topic of social media. So you will print out your idea mind map and you will write in your topic social media or whatever topic IELTS essay is given to you. And then what you're going to see, first of all, we're going to identify the key themes or overarching topics related to this central idea. These are the broad categories that capture the essence of your subject. We're going to see examples of that in a moment, but I'm just going to show you the map that we're going to use first, and then we'll give you examples. The second thing we're going to notice about this topic of social media is positive aspects. What are some positive aspects or benefits associated with this central idea? And this category allows you to delve into that, what works well or what is advantageous in the context of your topic. Then, thirdly, we're going to look at the negative aspects that are going to be stemming from this topic situation, and we're going to see how this might be negatively disadvantageous about this topic. Then the fourth criteria we're going to look at is related ideas. We're going to look at the specific concepts and how they're related to central elements of other deeper understandings of this theme. So this is an example of what it will look like once you put in the topic specific to social media. You will begin to start thinking, okay, what are some themes that are connected to the idea of social media? Let's say making friends online, sharing information. At this point, we're just putting down ideas. Remember, we're sowing seeds. We're putting seeds of ideas down, and we're not worried if it doesn't make sense, or it's maybe not that academic, or it's maybe not that smart sounding. Now we're not trying to be smart. We're just trying to get our ideas, our seeds, on the ground, on the paper. So we're planting our seeds. Making friends online, sharing information, how social media makes us feel, talking to people on the internet, keeping some things private. This is some ideas that I had about the topic of social media that will begin to get my brain moving on this idea. Then we'll look at some positive aspects. Talking to family and friends, it's good that we can share with our family and friends. It's good to learn new things. It's good to play cool games with our friends. Some negative ideas. Sometimes people tell lies. Strangers can see all your pictures. Spending too much time online. Sometimes you see things that make you sad. Good related ideas. Learning online. No? Being kind to others online. These are some ideas that we are relating to the topic of social media that could interact with the other aspects of our idea, mind map. So once we've got all these ideas down, we can choose an idea and connect it to these range of ideas that we have, which will help to develop the seed into a small plant. Then, once we have a small plant and we want to make it even bigger and grow into a tree, we're going to need to know which language to use. So this is what I call now the language mind map. You should have these printed out, and you can get access to them by clicking below and downloading them and printing them out. So as you go through your essay in this writing task, then you're going to see exactly how to put this into practice. So the language map. The language map is going to be on the topic of social media. And we're going to look at different nouns that we know related to the topic of social media, different adjectives that we know related to social media, like social, interactive, engaging, trending. Any of these words that you might know, you're going to put them down. And remember, this is a practice opportunity. So if at this point you don't know many words related to the topic, this is the perfect opportunity to start studying these words to help you express yourself better on the topic of, for example, social media. If you're a part of my Fluency clan, you'll know that you get every 2 weeks, you get a list of these nouns, verbs, adjectives, phrasal verbs, native-like expressions as part of the Fluency clan. And you'll know that you'll be able to use those phrases that a native speaker might use on this topic and be able to apply it to your language mind map. But if you don't, then you can easily find these things by searching online or looking up a dictionary or a thesaurus. These are other avenues to get access to language appropriate to the topic. So we're now going to use both of these mind maps, the mind map for ideas, and we're going to put that alongside our language mind map, and we're going to come up with our plan. Our plan should be based on the prompt or the question that we've been asked. So we're going to choose now one main idea that we brainstormed from our idea map that connects best to the question about the role of social media. Then we're going to make sure the idea we selected is relevant and directly answers the question. Write a short paragraph using simple language to explain this idea. So as we practice, don't overcomplicate the language. You want to first make sure your idea is clear and logical and well structured. So go back to the structure lesson if you don't know how to structure the overall essay. If you haven't understood how to do that, make sure that your idea is simple and you use simple language initially to write this paragraph. Once you've written the paragraph in simple language, then you can go back with your language mind map and add where you think appropriate. You could use more advanced words, phrases, and expressions. This is how you'll begin to turn your plant into a tree. It will become more mature, strong, and impressive. Mature, strong, and impressive. Perfect. Now, with our two mind maps, we are training our mind to know exactly how to encounter IELTS questions, IELTS essay questions. We are preparing and training our mind to be able to respond academically and with higher level expressions, and also keeping our ideas simple, clear, and concise. This is the technique of brainstorming that will help you to become much more eloquent and smooth when you communicate in English. So do not skip this process. It might take a little bit more time to go through the mind maps, but it's essential to begin to develop your mind on ideas and language related to those ideas. This work will pay off both for your writing and for your speaking exam. So take your time, enjoy the process, sit down with your mind maps, print them out, and get started on your IELTS essay and begin to see that your ideas are much more you'll begin to see that your ideas are much more clear and you'll have ideas of how to express them linguistically. So grab your IELTS essay, sit down with your mind maps, and get started on your second IELTS essay for this week. Well done if you've already written the first one, and enjoy writing the second one. See you next week. See you in the next lesson. See you in lesson number 4. See you in the next lesson.